Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Cam here today, bringing you another episode of Another Brick in the Mall. Today in episode number 8 we're going to be going ahead and working towards multiple different things. So we'll go over changes in a second, but as you can see there is an extremely large influx of people. Why is this? This is due to us in the last episode, if you missed it, we unlocked our third and final road connection into this map, and as you can see it's bringing in a lot of traffic. Now, the game is on ×3 speed, so things are looking pretty insane, but even if we slow things down to ×1 speed, there's still a lot going on which we need to go ahead and accommodate for. So with that said, I have made some changes from the last episode. We've got also a lot of errors which we need to deal with, lots of needs we need to deal with, we need to build more shops, there's so much still to do, and what I'm thinking, this is episode 8, I think the series is probably going to go to episode number 10 or so. Might do an extra one or two, or I might land up cutting at episode 9, I don't really know, but in my head there's still a shit ton of stuff to do which we need to go ahead and reach. And I also want to try and reach my profit margin of 100,000, which to be fair we're really not that far off and I think we should reach relatively shortly. So, starting off here with the parking, we've gone ahead and at least doubled if not tripled the parking. The reason for this is because we were just missing a lot of sales opportunities from car parking, and I've added in a shit ton of car parking, and as we can see it's still near enough full, which is pretty insane. So we'll see how it does tomorrow, because a lot of this literally just got finished being built, but that's something which I've been meaning to do for quite a while. Then on top of that we are going to go ahead and I've added in like more loading zones and stuff like that because it's really required. Added in more staff, car parking, some of the stuff evidently still needs to be finished because that's maybe a bit of a glitch there. But I have gone ahead and accommodated more for other stuff like loading, like recycling, like staff as well. And I will need to continue to do that really because we're seeing that staff are turning up late for work just due to not being able to find a space, which is a real big problem. We do have one or two, I believe one over here, this is just staff only parking, but the amount of staff we now have in this mall, if you think about it, the amount of staff we have in this mall, it's an extremely large number. On top of that, going into the mall, the changes that we've made. So the first thing is the fast food restaurant here, its area has changed, so it now includes the tables at the top and it only includes 3 of the tables down the side. This is because restaurant number 21 will include the bottom 3 tables at each side. Do note as well though, I actually removed some extra tables from the side here just so the walkways aren't overcrowded, and I'm happy with how this looks. People can still get by, no problem at all. The next thing that I've gone ahead and modified is, I mean you really can't see it to be fair, I thought I hired enough janitors to go ahead and deal with the dirt and the footprints on the floor, but as you can see, like this place looks absolutely terrible for example. Then the bowling alley, that looks pretty bad, so we've got the cinema, that is in a pretty awful condition as well, so it's evident we need to go ahead and hire more of them, which we'll do very shortly. The final thing I've gone ahead and did, and if we can pause this here, this is the best example. So this shop is full to the brim, way too full, and we need to go ahead and it's just too many people, that's the problem, there's just too many people, so I need to go ahead in this episode and take pressure off this by moving some items out, i.e. creating a liquor store, a fresh meat store / butcher, and going ahead and taking the pressure off this store, or we need to go ahead and add in more checkouts, either or. So right now during the day, which is in between 6 AM and 10 PM at night, that's what I classify as the daytime, in this game anyway, is that we have 16 checkouts, and in general, I don't know why someone's not in this checkout in the middle here, but we have 16 cashiers working, just because as you can see the high demands, look at it, I mean there is definitely need for it, because the amount of people here is just insane, so, and it's something which needs to be improved upon as well, because things are just not looking great here at all. I think as well a lot of staff are about to go home, so I need to continue to work on this, and this is where the majority of our sales come from. On top of that, that empties all our shelves, and as you can see, just look at how bad, I mean I thought I was on top of this, but the influx has been so large on this extra road that it's just insane. And we've also gone ahead and added in a shit ton of car parking spaces, so I think that's made me realise the amount of sales opportunities I've been missing. Though we are at like a 42,000 profit a day, and I'm wanting to try and get that figure up to 100,000, which that would be absolutely amazing going forward. That's one of the original series goals. So with that said, that's you pretty much caught up, to be fair. Actually, I've gone ahead and also made 1 or 2 slight changes in shops. I've gone ahead and filled, for example, most of the shops out. This food store is now totally filled out. It's because I know there's not going to be any more items, so there's really not much need. So let's go ahead and, yeah, I guess get started with solving all of our issues, because there is quite a few. I also want to see if the car parks fill up today, actually. That's something which I'm extremely curious about. I don't know if they will or not. I'm a little bit unsure on that one, that's for sure. You can just see here though, look how insane things are. I really so badly need to take pressure off here. Anyway, I could actually go ahead and do buses, and I should probably do that this episode as well. Interesting. Right, anyway, so we reached a objective, which was have 1,500 customers on site. We are, oh, did we? Okay. That's interesting because, well, I realise it's maybe not, okay, so this is peak customers on site. Or no, I know, we reached 1,000 and now we've got the new goal of 1,500, so you can see that the general satisfaction isn't great. 5 are left unsatisfied and will not come back tomorrow, so these are the little things which we need to go ahead and improve on. So, amazing to close, we need so much more staff. First thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to slow the game down, because when things are going well, you run the game on fast, but when the game is not going very well, you run it on slow. That's a basic concept that I like to go with. The next thing I need to do is go ahead and hire more staff to work in our maintenance centre over here in the mall, because as we know, the floors are extremely disgusting. So I thought I hired enough janitors, but evidently not, so we're going to go ahead and hire quite a lot of janitors. The good thing is about that third road extension is, as you can see, we've got a larger pool of people to go ahead and choose to work for us, so we get 3 extra people interviewing for every single job. So what I'm going to do, I think here, is I'm going to hire 6 more janitors all in all, and I think that should hopefully go ahead and relieve the pressure on the whole mall itself, and I'm going to go ahead and modify their hours very quickly. So there we have it. As we can see, we now have 8 janitors on at all time. We only have 2 on throughout the night actually, which really isn't a lot either. So let's go ahead and hire someone else. You seem a pretty good janitor, Virginia Hicks, so we'll go ahead and hire you. That's something which I've never understood. Why do people name people after places? Like, I mean, the name Virginia is not actually that a bad one, but it's people who call their kids like India and like Jordan and stuff like that. I understand Jordan's quite a common name, it's not really, that one's a bad example, but you get what I mean. Some of the stupid ones like India, for example, who calls their child India? Very, very strange indeed. You wouldn't see a child called Scotland, would you? Could you imagine that? Oh hi, I'm Scotland. Like, that's just not a thing at all. Right, where are we going to focus on next? I don't really know, because there's so much honestly to do, that is the thing, and it scares me. Let's go ahead and actually have a look through some of our missed sales opportunities and errors down the bottom. So it's really store 7, like look how bad that is, honestly, absolutely horrendous. I'm not really happy about that at all. Then on top of that, missed sales opportunities again, more missed sales, more missed sales. That was a parking occurrence, and that's recent, which is a bit worrying because, to be fair, there's spaces now, but it is a much later in the day. But that's probably something we need to go ahead and deal with. Missed opportunities for restrooms. What building is that in? That's the real question. Literally, I'm dismissing them, but they're coming straight back to me, which is annoying. Store 10, that's another issue. Restaurants, right, yeah, right. That's just, yeah, literally, it's so bad. Right, let's get rid of them, and let's go ahead and slowly but surely just make our way through all the individual shops. That's the best thing to do here. So let's start off with store number, we've done store 7, we've done store 10, I'm thinking store 14 here, so this is the first one I want to work on. So we're going to hire some more cashiers to go ahead and work throughout the day here. So Tina Watson, I think we're going to go ahead and get you, and we're going to have 5 cashiers on, and I think we might make this a 24/7 store as well while we're here too, just because I think it's now justified. Now we're getting even more people arriving into the shopping mall area just because of our new road extension, of course, which we got recently. So that's going to go ahead and have 2 more on during the day. Now we might as well max out, I think, because it is justified now. We have 5 checkouts, so we might as well make use of 5 checkouts. we'll hire you as well. I'm really not happy with the quality of, and I could see that being a future update, the quality of staff which interview for jobs. I could maybe possibly see a school or like a training centre being put into this game, and I think that would be really beneficial and would make me a lot happier as well. So the next thing I need to do is go ahead and hire some more staff to make this shop a 24/7 shop. And I don't think we're going to have too many people overnight. I think we're just going to start off with 2 people overnight, and that should do us no problem. As you can see, the shop at this time of night is dying down, and throughout the night I think it could do with 2. These queues are extremely large, but as of tomorrow there'll be 5 people on at this time, so it would mean that queues aren't going to be very large going into the night shift, which goes from 10 till 6 AM in the morning. Right, the next thing we evidently need is stock clerks as well. Probably quite a few more of them for during the day and at least 1 throughout the night as well. So we'll go ahead and hire you and we'll stick you on. You'll do the night shift, I think that's the best thing to do. Then we need to go ahead and modify. The problem is we need to modify a lot of these hours. The reason is because I've gone from my 7-11 schedule, which if you do an early shift in a 7-11 shop, then it's from 7 till 3 and the late shift's from 3 till 11. But we're going into my setup, which is the 6-10, or the 6-2-10-6 setup, if you understand what I'm meaning, so the hours are slightly modified. So I think that's me pretty much dealt with that store. I'm a little bit happier with how it is going to be going forward. The final thing I do need to do though is actually make it a 24/7 store. So if we jump up here and we're in the correct store, if we go ahead and opening hours it's just going to be open 24/7, so as you can see it's now at 24 hours. The lights have gone out, and this is going to be a little bit of an issue. Again, when we loaded up the last game, or the last save in the last episode, we got and as you can see at the bottom of the screen as well, running an obsolete save. Do not report bugs, and I believe this is one of the bugs. It's just a lighting issue, which as you can see, I don't know why there's still 4 staff here. It should go down to 2. Yeah, it's gone down to 1 actually. Very strange. I think everything will sort itself out, but as you can see, it's still making money, which is good enough for me. Right, the next thing I need to do is actually go ahead and look at the store. So the profit margin of the store is actually 92%, which is relatively good. I am hoping to see that go over 100 though, and I want every shop to be over 100. Now though, we should be able to get very close to that. We should have a stock clerk working right now, stocking up the shop, but for some reason there's not, which is a bit of an issue, and that's one of the big problems why we're losing sales. Something's definitely not right here, but I think by tomorrow it should sort itself out. Alright, so with that store dealt with, it's now time to go ahead, and as you can see, it's in a red colour now. Not really at all sure why, but it doesn't really matter about the colour. I can still see what's going on. I can still see that the shelves aren't really getting stocked too well, but I can see that there is not really large queues, which is one of the best things to see. Right, so next, we're going to move over here to the 2 appliances and electronic shops. So, we have a real problem here in the electronic shop, in that there is actually nobody waiting, or there's no cashiers. Where is everyone gone? So strange, and also extremely annoying as well here. So let me go ahead and jump from one store to another. So I believe this is store 18, that was a good guess. Cashier, coming to work in 16 hours. Going to work, you're at work, so you've arrived. I think this could be due with a car parking issue actually, at work. So, I mean, you guys are turning up, it was just the first 2 didn't turn up. That's strange. I mean, we've got 2 cashiers throughout the whole time, so that's fine, but strange. Anyway, in general, the stocking of the shop is, in general, it's fine, so nothing's too bad. So, that is fine, and the store profit's at 90%, so it's a little bit, yeah, I'm happy with it, but again, I want it to be over 100% going forward, that's for sure. Right, one thing I need to make and modify actually is, I mean, there's staff car parking here, so that's fine, and that's relatively close by as well, so should be no excuse that people aren't turning up to work. In general, this shop is doing fine, so I'm happy with it. Turning our attention over here to the appliances store, I think everything is good, it's just the stocking of the shelves that is maybe taking a little bit of time. Let me go ahead and jump into manage. Your store 19, so your profit margin's only at 73%, and I mean, it's really difficult. I mean, how often do you buy a fridge or like a washing machine? Like, it's not an everyday item. You buy it maybe every 5 years or so. So I understand if this isn't as profitable. You don't know of a billionaire who sells fridges, do you? I mean, really billionaires seem to be people who sell stuff every single day, like oil, for example. Oil is required every single day, so often. Whereas a fridge, for example, it really isn't. Right, anyway, enough chat. Let's go ahead and see how we're doing. So right now we've got 3 cashiers on throughout the day. That's totally fine. Not going to make this a 24/7 store yet because there's absolutely no need. I do want to check though on the stock clerk front because things are, I don't know, things are not really doing too well. I mean, I want to see the shelves full, that's really what I want to see, but unfortunately we're just not seeing it, and again the lights are going out at the wrong time as well, which is very, very annoying and strange. Alright, so the next thing is I'm coming down to the cinema here, and I can see that the cinema's doing quite well. However, I need to go ahead and add in more cashiers down at the cinema here. So you're probably the movie theatre, which is 25, we need ticket lobby, and we need to hire some more cashiers. So you're a decent cashier, you'll start at, again, this is just my 7-Eleven, and this is going to stay that way as well because there's no real need to change it. We'll go ahead and hire you as well, and you can go on the afternoon. We could maybe go up to 4 cashiers actually. I'm just looking at the amount of people that are coming in. If we jump in here and we go into needs, and then if I go into entertainments, then bowling and movie theatre really have a much higher demand, so we can go ahead and work on this right now. So the next thing I need, I'm just going to hire quite a few. I'm going to have 4 cashiers on at once, I think, actually. That's probably the best idea to do. And then if the demand is even higher, then we can go ahead from there and make it 24/7. So that is a lot more cashiers going to be working in here going forward, which is good. The next thing I want to do is actually go ahead and probably make an extra cinema. Now, the reason for this is because I would think of things as like you show one movie in one and one movie in the other, and that is really the format that it would be. And I find it very rare, especially in this country, to just have a cinema which only has one screen. The lowest one, I mean, unless it's a traditional one, but like mainstream, they usually have like multiple screens, which is something which I kind of want to replicate in this series as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to do an extremely similar layout, but I'm going to try and make it symmetrical this time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we have an aisle 2 wide, which, to be fair, I can make that work. Let's go ahead and add in the projector at the back again as well, and then we'll just go ahead and have it seats going right up the front. Now, one thing I wish that was in this game is that sort of like a drag and click tool, because all this individual clicking is just a little bit unnecessary, and I really don't think it's needed at all. Also put a little bit of section down the front here. For some reason, that's really what it is in cinemas in the UK anyway. It's that, and I understand why they do it, it's because you don't enter from the back, you sort of enter coming underneath, and you think of like, the seats that I'm placing right now is the grandstand, and these ones are raised, then you come up the side, and this front bit here is like, you can either go up, or you can go down. That's really why I'm going ahead and building it this way. Someone asked in the comments, and that's really your explanation there. Right, so that's a second movie theatre actually ready to go, so we'll go ahead and I'm hoping if we add in a second movie theatre, the more people will turn up, so we make more money, if you understand what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and jump into a sign, let's go ahead and grab movie theatre, and let's make this another movie theatre. So I need to go ahead and finally manage, jump into 26 here. You don't need staff, but you need to be assigned a lobby, and we'll go ahead and assign you there. So that should now be into operation, which is good, and we'll hopefully start to see people turning up, and as we can see, people are turning up and coming in and watching movies in there as well. I hope it's an even split though, that's really what I'm hoping for. I don't want too much of unbalance or one to go ahead and defeat the other, but we can see both of them are being used, and I would say that the numbers are higher already, which is good. And what I'm going to do as well actually is fill out this final third one, because I really don't see the need to go ahead and leave this room blank for the time being. So you can now see we've got our third movie theatre set up now, which is good, so we should be able to go ahead and deal with any demands we really get. I might need to go ahead and add in more cashiers, but for the time being, everything is looking good. As you can see, we've now bridged the gap much better to going ahead and dealing with the issue of just a high demand of movies. It's still got a long way to go, but it's much better than it once was, and hopefully adding in this third movie theatre, it should go ahead and help bridge that gap anyway. We're starting to see much more people come down here, which is good. I don't know if I'm happy with the layout of this bottom theatre, to be honest. It's just the way it is, it's just thin, unfortunately. So I went ahead and did it side on instead of, I guess, top down, and it's meant that there's only 3 seats beside each other, which it isn't a bad thing at all, but it's just, I'm maybe not a biggest fan of it, because usually, I mean, if large groups want to go, how are you going to sit together? You know, it's going to be a little bit difficult. We can go ahead and leave this for the time being now. Interesting to note as well, we've also reached 100 days. Right, so for some reason you guys really aren't doing too much in the middle here, which is not good, and I'm very confused at why. It's because we're out of food, and it's because we don't have any cooks here. So this is what I'm going to go ahead and solve next. So if we jump into number 20, which is this store here, and let's see, profit margin 53%, again not the best, could be better. So I want to go ahead and hire a third cook and have you running throughout the day as well, just to go ahead and solve this little bit of an issue that we seem to be having because there was no cooks there. I'm not really at all sure why. If there's a legitimate reason, then that's fine, but if not, we need to go ahead and solve it. Next thing we need is more cashiers, definitely. I want to go ahead and have 5 cashiers throughout the day instead of just the... How many do we have right now? Only 3 on right now, which is not a lot at all. I really want to go ahead and just expand the whole capacity of this place in general and try and get the second one open as well. And if we go ahead, it seems to be as a correlation, the more staff you have working, then the more sales you seem to get. I don't know if that's definitely true, but it seems to sort of be that. And it's similar in Transport Fever as well. It's like the more trains you run, the more passengers seem to want to go on the trains, which is kind of strange. It doesn't work like that for planes in Transport Fever, but I'll stop talking about that for the time being. Right, so that's us up now to 5 cashiers, all in all, which is good, and you guys are turning up to work. There's still no food though on the go, that's what I really need on the go, so 2 cooks have turned up to work, which is good at least. I don't know where the third one is, mind you, so I'll go ahead and chase you down, but we've also got ourselves 5 cashiers in here as well, so it'll be interesting to see how this place does going forward, and we're now finally starting to see people come up and order some foods. The fast food dispensers are relatively full, which is fine with the 2 of them, but I do want to chase down this third person though, because I don't want stuff like this to go under my radar without me catching up and seeing what the problem is. Right, so cooks. So I just need to work out which cook is actually missing. So it's this cook here, and he is a gamer, can't resist video games or consoles. He gets nausea twice as fast and has a weak stomach, so it looks like you're probably just having an off day, to be fair, or an off few days, which is fair enough, we all get ill. And right now the 2 staff, they're coping anyway, so we should be fine there. Hopefully by the afternoon everything should be nice and dandy. Right, so the final thing that I want to go ahead and address this episode is I want to jump down here and also add in some more bowling facilities, because that's something which we need to go ahead and do. So if we jump in here, now the annoying thing is I can't go ahead and rotate. That really frustrates me, so it means that we're going to sort of have a bit of a lopsided store here, or lopsided bowling lanes, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But I'm going to go ahead and start to build these. You're going to share the same facilities as the other lanes do, except we're just going to have a small gap which basically you go through. There will be a separate door entrance as well, but you'll have to come through to the main area to go ahead and buy your tickets. So as you can see, we've now gone ahead and extended the bowling alley, so I need to go ahead and add in 1 or 2 more objects just to make this place look a little bit more respectable, or not respectable, just keep up with the theme really. So I've gone ahead and done the floors. Now someone made a very good point, I should probably put red carpets in with the cinema, but at the same time I've got my corridors having red carpets, so in the next series I go ahead and play this game, I probably will go ahead and do red carpets in the cinema, and I'll do something else for just the general floor of them all. But we need to go ahead and finish off this first of all. So let me go ahead and jump in here and grab objects. We need to go ahead and grab ourselves some double doors. I want to put an extra double door in there and an extra double door in there. Then what I want to do is add in some more objects, and I want to go ahead and put in some more seating areas. Sort of just keep up with the food court theme, and I like having these seats in this location here, so it sort of like blocks off the checkouts or whatever they are, order tills, I don't even know what they're called, but it goes ahead and sort of encloses the area, which I like much better as well. And then if we add in some more seats here as well, I very much like that as well. It just allows people to sit down while they are not taking their turn, and also we've got all the stuff down here as well, which I think is very appropriate for a bowling alley. Right, the next thing I need to do is actually go ahead and upgrade the bowling alley. So let's go ahead and first of all draw in this extra area here. And as you can see, there we go, that is the extension. And we should hopefully start to see now people using this left hand side. As you can see, the right hand side is full and the left hand side is doing much better now. So I'm really glad to see that progress. Now the next thing is the bowling. So the needs, we're only really about halfway there, but we've gone ahead and added in so many more lanes that I think it should really go ahead and bridge the gap. The up and coming problem I can see though is with not having enough people selling tickets. That's one thing. So we've only got 2 cashiers on at once, and that's something that I think we should go ahead and up. Now I'm looking here and I'm not really seeing any, I'm hardly seeing any green, that's the first thing, or anyone I want to hire at all. So I'm not a happy bunny here in the slightest. However, I'm just going to have to go ahead and hire some people because I need some people to go ahead and deal with this issue. Yeah, I'm really not happy. Like, this is awful. This is absolutely awful. I think we'll maybe go with you, Casey, and then we'll stick you on. You'll go on the afternoon shift. So that's us up to 3 cashiers. I mean, I'm just looking at the queues right now, and they're not that large, but hopefully that'll go ahead and solve a little bit of that problem. And again, we'll come back and see and analyze the needs as we go forwards. How is our movie theatre doing? So I'm just trying to have a look and see if it's actually worked, and we can see at this time of night things are quite quiet, which is kind of surprising because I would expect it to be at its busiest at this time of day. So with that done, we've pretty much gone ahead and, I guess, monitored and upgraded everything. Again, we've got no cooks, and that's a real problem again, which I need to go ahead and solve. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and basically remove all of these. I just want to see what are the current ones. So store 14 customers are leaving without any... I mean, that's just a queue opportunity again. It's only 1 occurrence, it's now 2 occurrences. What is store 14? That's really the next question. So store 14 is... it's actually the clothing store, which is strange because, I mean, there's a cashier in here overnight, which is fair enough, but for some reason it is... that's odd. Very, very odd. I don't know why that's happening because you're being able to deal with everyone totally fine. We can see the shop in general is much better stocked now as well, so I'm extremely happy about that. So all in all, I don't really think that's too a bad one, but it's got 14 occurrences. But I mean, I'm watching it live and I'm not really seeing it happen, so Right, store 1, that's understandable. That's at night though, actually. We've really not looked at store 1 in a while, so let's go ahead and jump over there and see how we're doing. In general, everything I think is fine over here. We've got enough people overnight, we've got enough people throughout the day. Storage room works fine, so I don't really see much problem over here, to be honest. I'm really not gonna lie. I think we'll leave it for the time being. So we'll leave it. I mean, it's not many occurrences, it's 27 occurrences. That's quite a lot. I mean, we'll see if that's the same tomorrow. Then missed sales opportunities in store 10. I mean, this is store 10, so it's a motherfucker. It's always going to have issues. Fast food restaurant 6, just after midnight, you missed out on sales opportunities, and that's something which we can definitely go ahead and bridge. So let me jump in here, fast food restaurant number 6. Let's go ahead and hire, we just need another cashier, it sounds like, going throughout the night. Looks like we've got a little bit better people to choose from today as well. So that's us up to 4 cashiers throughout the night now, so hopefully that should go ahead and solve that problem. So we can go ahead and dismiss that one. We can see right now actually what time of day it is. It's the afternoon and this place is absolutely hoaching, so I think we need more cashiers throughout the day. That's something which I think we definitely need, because some of those queues are mad long right now. So what I'm going to do is, I believe we've got 12 serving checkouts overall, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and up and probably move up to probably about 8 servers at once, or 8 cashiers at once. Oh, we're already past that. Actually, I think we're just going to have to go for the full 12 in here. That's really what we're going to have to do. We'll go up to 11 for the time being, and then we'll see if that works out, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll go ahead and, I guess... I mean, it's a similar problem as well with the store in the Grand Mall, is that I can't really make it much bigger. I wish I could just divert people to other places where they could buy those products. That's really what I would like to do. So that should hopefully go ahead and solve that issue, because things in here right now are just absolutely crazy. I never realised they get this busy. But I'm sort of glad they're busy, because I can imagine we're making some mad profit right now. If we look at the shop, then profit margin's only 60. I think it's because we're missing lots of sales opportunities though. I think that's one of the real reasons. Right, that's a restaurant. That's only 1 occurrence there, so that's a little bit better. Then we are missed sales opportunities. This is in store 7, which that's totally understandable, and I can't really seem to do too much about it. Store 1, a lot of sales opportunities missed here during the day as well, so that's disappointing. Store 10, I think we're just starting to look back around now. but I think all in all we're doing fine. I want to make sure, how's our car parking facilities, because I think we're doing okay now that we've gone ahead and did this massive expansion. So the final thing is we're going to do this episode, ladies and gentlemen, is work on bus stops, because this is something which I think would be a good idea to have. So I'm just going to put them, I don't actually know how they work, so I'm going to stick them in two of the corners, and I can imagine people wait for buses and get off buses at the bus stop. So I'm just a little bit unsure, do I need to go ahead and do something? Do I need to go ahead and... No, so I don't actually need to do anything. It looks like the buses just run automatically, which is good, so I just need to go ahead and place multiple bus stops throughout this whole area, and that's something which will be easy enough to do. So the first thing I want to do is actually go ahead and I want to remove some car parking. So I want to go ahead and remove this row here, just because this is the main road really, and I don't really want to go ahead and have too much. I'm happy to have facilities on the main road, but not actually customer car parking. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of this customer car parking here, and I mean, it looks like we've got adequate car parking. As we can see, we're up into 100,000 or so, but at the same time there is still spaces, so not 100,000, 1,000. I don't know why I can't say numbers right half the time. My brain farts. I do study maths with my degree, so it's not that I'm bad at maths. I think it's the multitasking which I very often struggle with. Right, so with that done, you can see a lot of the cars are on the grass, so that's a bit of an issue, which, I mean, again, it might just be because of the obsolete save, but that's an issue which the game might need to go ahead and solve. Right, let's go back into build, roadworks, let's go ahead and add in a few more bus stops. So we'll add in bus stops here and here, we'll add in a bus stop right at the corner here, we'll then go ahead and... I'm going to have like a bus stop or two outside the main mall actually, so we'll have a stop there, and I'm just randomly putting stops down, I'm not going to lie. I'm not really going for a specific pattern here at all. Then on top of that, I mean that's pretty good, I mean that's serving everything, it's serving the two buildings up here and all around the Grand Mall as well, so I can't really complain. We'll add in another stop there, another stop there, another stop there, and another stop there, so we've now got adequate stops around, and we can see that people are waiting on the bus. I mean, that's a good thing. It might bring also more people into this area as well. We can see our profit margins are teetering, and they reach 44,000 there. So again, we're not really breaking past that though, and that's something which we'll go ahead and bridge in the next episode again. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode. Please leave a like, rate, and subscribe if you are new around here. 2 more episodes to go and we'll be done. I do apologise if this episode was a little bit weird. I am exams right now, or not exams, but coursework. I'm a bit all over the place, and you can probably tell that by the commentary. But do not worry, we will be, as soon as the next episode, I will be stress-free, because that will have passed by this stage. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. My name is ConflctNerd Callum, and I'm out.